Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, beautiful hearts. We are so pleased that you are with us today. We are here to open our hearts, expand our heart consciousness. And my guest today is a beautiful teacher and way shower of that. Ambujam Rose is here with us. She specializes in group power healings. And this takes us to our soul essence, truly liberating us from distortions in our field and thinking and consciousness. And this is all about time to step up and trust yourself. Hi, Ambujam. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Hi, Loren. Hi, everybody. It's so good to be with you, especially in this most intense transition we have all ever been in, which I
Wow.
want to talk about, right? I
Right.
mean, have you ever felt anything like this before?
Never. You know what? All right, let's talk about that. This is really good. This is a time
So,
conversation because there is a lot of stuff coming up, right?
to say the least.
And you know,
Yeah.
I had a conversation, not to go too deep into this, because we all, if we look at the opposing diversity, everyone wants the same thing. In our spiritual community, everyone wants new earth, everyone wants freedom, liberation. We all want the same thing. But there is so much fear coming up. So can you help us identify this? Because
Yes, girl.
there's
Yes.
not only in America, there are countries around the world that are frightened. And so this is where our inner guidance is so important. Now, let's talk about that. What is your take on it? Because it's wild. And first, let's say happy birthday, happy new Earth Day.
Mm. I
Earth
was
Day.
saying, I was saying to my husband today, I'm like, shouldn't every day be Earth Day? I mean,
We
come on,
said that. I say that here at New Earth,
right? Like, duh.
every day is Earth Day.
Every day
Every
is
day
Earth
is Earth
Day.
Day. And this is just a beautiful way to take our collective consciousness that we have, that we're already streaming our new Earth vision, and now we get to amplify it with the collective. And so everyone is thinking about Earth. That's
More
beautiful,
than ever.
more
Yeah.
than ever. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's wonderful that we're here. But
I'm
wow,
just so happy to be here with you because our conversations always like I say something and then you say something and then I say something and it always opens up just so much like goodness within ourselves, empowerment, wholeness, sovereignty brings information in such specific ways, our conversation. And so I'm really excited to be at this time on this call with you about what you have to share after I share. And then what we'll all do together, you know?
I know it's so important to have these conversations and so heart expanding and heart opening with you. You
Mm,
are a Blu-ray. I think I've mentioned this.
yeah.
I'm a Blu-ray.
Yep.
I think most people watching are Blu-rays. What does that
Mm.
mean? That just means we are here for divine will. And we
Not
voice.
my will. That's clear.
All
God
right.
don't give a shit about my will, man. Ooh, can I not swear or should I swear or should I?
It's sexy, goddess, so go for it.
Okay.
Fine.
Just because we're on YouTube, I don't know what the whole, you know. So, okay,
Yes,
I'm gonna simplify what's happening to us, and then I'll go more minutia details.
great.
Woof, man. So we are literally and figuratively leaving fear based living and being and moving into love based being and living. So, I'll talk about that in a second. So, for years in this life, okay, we've all done tons of healing, made all these choices, and have had these energetic leaps and shifts, right? Last week, like the March eclipse really kicked it off, but last week was a huge kind of shove into it than more than we've ever experienced. So incrementally, we've made these shifts, and it's not just incrementally, right? These things have been huge that we've had to face and change, right? But compared to this, okay, we've like made these moves energetically. But what's happening now is our whole body, let's say our whole human, is literally leaving fear-based. Let's say we were all incarnated and there was a template of fear. Let's just say that. We've been standing on that since day one. Not people who are just being born today. They don't have that same experience we have, right? So people our age, in this, let's say 35 and up ish, okay? When we incarnated, there was so much freaking fear energetically, quote, evil, quote, darkness, all manipulation energy that we have experienced and lived through. That template, let's say, to simplify it all, we are literally leaving fear template and coming into love template. Our human, because we've made all these choices energetically and all that, now our human is literally making the move. And we're in that transition right now. We have never made this move before, especially so many at once. And everyone has their own kind of wave. Like, not everyone goes all at the same exact time and exactly the same way. Everyone goes to this, to love, to this quote new world, which I don't have a word for it, in their own energetic ripening time. And so the velocity of it's almost like we're in a rocket and we're like we're heading, like we're going through, what do they call that, Mach 20,000, and we're like, okay. The fear that we have to literally take the rocket through to get to the other side is what we're in right now. Everything that each one of us, has ever experienced that is significant to us being who we are right now and embodying who we are right now is what we are all taking the rocket through. So for everyone's specific stuff, it's different, right? And so the amount of fear, the amount of emotion, the amount of just weird freaking energetics in a way that we've never experienced is bigger and stronger than ever, because it's what is in us that has to go. It can't stay because of where we're going. So we've all heard it over and over and over. You have to be the vibration, align with the vibration to have the thing that you want. You have to be that vibration, right? Where we're headed is such a different vibration for our human system. Again, we've made the shifts energetically for years now, but the human is now moving into it. In order for our human bodies, nervous system, everything that is in us that makes us tick, in order to actually embody and live in that vibration, the amount of that fear template of everything we have ever experienced that is significant to our soul history and us being who we are now is what is literally like being like pulled out of us. And why it's so hard is because the things that are getting pulled out of each one of us is our deepest identity of the thing that we have experienced. Traumas, belief systems, identity, like the core to the core of what we've experienced and who we have been is literally ending. And so to be able to be fully living in this new world, we could call the new world fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, eighth dimension, ninth dimension, and up it goes. So we're literally like, let's say this is the third dimension and everything here is higher dimension, okay? It's like we're leaving this whole world we're in and we're landing here. And aspects of us are in this transition now, which is where all the fear and stuff is coming out. Aspects of us have already landed here that are acclimating to this new energy. There's so much happening at once right now that our minds cannot grasp. We might get a glimpse for a second and then we feel better for 2 seconds, but then whoosh, all this like Mach 20,000 thing we're going through was like, ah, right? So we have never made this transition before. Humanity has not, I don't want to say has not done it, but humanity has not done it before. We could call it, oh, age of Aquarius. There's so many labels of why, right? Of the energetics of what is happening. But we have not experienced a shift like this to the degree of leaving the third dimensional consciousness way of being, control, fear-based ways. We've never left that, like, to the amount of people that are leaving it, going into the quote new earth, new world. And the quote new earth, new world is really not a place, and yet it will be, because everything is energy. So third dimensional energy, like I'm my ego, I have everything, I'm motivated from fear, I don't feel like I have enough, I'm always in survival, I'm always running around. That's an energy. And then if I'm in that, I create my world to be that way, right? 3D by itself is not a problem. It's an energy that we then got immersed in since birth. Let's say, you know, at some point as a kid, we got immersed, right? So we're literally coming out of that immersion, and it's an energetic shift. But once we align energetically to the new world, we actually start creating the new world on a situational, because we'll be that energy. So the world that we've had is what we've created from our internal consciousness. As we make the transition and as we get into the new consciousness, we'll then create a world from there. And it's not, right, snap of a finger. And I like the example of manifestation to be like, if we all look around our room right now that we're in, or our house or our car, wherever we're at, we've already manifested everything in front of us right now. Like, it's already manifested from within. Everything that you see came from some belief system, consciousness, energy. Okay. And it took a minute for your world to get created, right? So when we start to move, I don't want to say start, when we're in this new consciousness and we align and more embody that, then that world will get created. And the old world will start to literally go away, right? So Spirit wants to use the metaphor of relationships. So the relationship that you attracted 20 years ago, you may not even see that type of person anymore, right? Because you've healed, you've shifted, you've changed, you're just not interested. That's how we manifest. Like, we manifested those types of relationships. We did our healing, we completed, it was over. 20 years later, attracting new from the vibrations we are now that we're not conscious of all the time, right? We're not conscious of all the places that we're attracting things from, but we are, right? So just as we manifested a relationship 20 years ago that we were no longer interested in that type of relationship, and we're attracting how we are now, that's how the new world will be built. We'll just build it from a new place, not because we try to, but because we can't help it. Because whatever you are, you create. You can't help it. How I treat me is how I treat you. Can't help it, right? So I've never seen so many humans going into the quote fifth dimensional world like now. It's so many. People don't have to, like, a lot of people don't have, like, we could say the education to know what's going on, that they're shifting in consciousness, right? So it's not like they have to know. We know because this is how we live, right? This is my practice to know what's going on, right? But there's so many creating this shift of this ascension in a way that we have never experienced as a collective before. So years ago, let's say there would be just a few, just to give an example, a few people understanding truth and the true self and awakening. And like that word awakening was not as out there as it is now, right? So it's, it is the most challengingest energetic transition because we're leaving fear. Like we're literally leaving it. And I want to say the ones that are ready to live a non fear based life. And it's not a judgment, it's a ripening. So, like when my husband and I first met 16 years ago, I had this thing about, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy.
Mhm.
And I've had such a history of grief and like this type of heaviness that has just followed me around like Pigpen and the dust thing. And I did all this healing on it and yada, la, 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 la. And one day I actually got to the bottom and I felt it. And I'm like, I'm actually ready to be happy now. And it wasn't this thing that I tried to do. It was all the healing I had done over and over and over times and over times. Finally, the scale tipped. Like that last feather went on that scale and boom, it tipped. I go deeper now in that, right? But I had to be able to hold the energy of happiness inside me. Where that moment before it tipped, I couldn't quite do it yet, even though I thought I could. But it's only when we have like that massive kind of shift in us that is so foundational that we go, oh, now I'm ready. I thought I was, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. We are where we are. We think what we think. Can't help it. But it's this kind of this foundational vibration shift that we feel inside of us that happens. And so for those that can hold their, because of the healing, because of their evolution, because of everything they've been going through, those humans that can actually hold the quote fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth dimension is the ones that are going over there because it's a ripening. And it's not, again, it's not a judgment. Oh, you're better than that person. It's like, no, man, this is, you have to be able to hold it or else you can't hold it. Right. And so we're experiencing that. Spirit's like to even the playing field from anything of that, of the mind and concepts. Okay. To even that playing field, feel our own experience of the shift we're making. There's days or times or moments that we just go right back into fear and we just go right back into our stuff, even though we know better, even though all I have to do is focus on this high vibration. I know it and just stay there. But then we get lost again, right? So it's not, it's like where each person is in their evolution and what their systems, their nervous system and their energy is actually foundationally being able to hold in a real way, not because they're trying. It's vibration, it's energy, right? So where each person is at within that ripening, that the mind doesn't have a clue. The mind could be like, I'm ready, I'm not ready. It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what's real in your system. It's wherever, it's wherever that is for you that you're going in this shift right now, right? So we're all making it in our own way. It's just what it is. It's not spiritually better or hierarchy or any of that bullshit. It's vibration. You have to be able to hold it. And so I couldn't hold happiness before, to use myself in as example. It would come and go. But there's something so different in me now because I can hold it. I'm not trying to hold it. It just is there. Right? So the amount of fear that is leaving our little bodies and our minds and our beings and our energy, we've never released it like this before because it's foundational. It's not just a healing we're going through, it's leaving fear. Like we are leaving.
Okay, because if those are not aware that we're leaving this behind, we could go crazy thinking
Crazy.
crazy because we're like, what is this? There is, I don't know about you. Have you felt it has seemed that it feels this year feels like Mercury retrograde times 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're going backwards, like literally going backwards in systems and things. And then finding, okay, one thing to be in the collective and the general, but there's another in our own personal lives. And I've noticed this in ways. And I'm like, what is that? We're making change, like on a business perspective, for example, changing our website. How much of that old content do we bring forward?
Mm,
I don't, and there's a lot
mhm.
there that comes up with that. There's tossing and turning. That's my personal take on it. So I know others are having this, wow. I mean, most of the people I check in with are just like, this is going crazy.
Yeah.
So
And
what
and
do you do with this?
sorry, I just
So,
want to add to that
yeah,
craziness.
yeah,
So as we're leaving fear, so let's say fear is here. Well, I'll just
yeah,
go back to the side. Fear is here, love is here. And I'm
yeah.
just simplifying, okay? Because really love is everywhere, okay? But how we've experienced it energetically. The craziness is the transition point, is between these two.
Kind of like the cymatics on
Yeah,
the moment it makes the new design is the most chaotic. But we're in
exactly.
that right now.
We're
Oh
in
boy,
that right now.
and we can feel it. Okay, go ahead, please.
So, yes, that is the craziness. Okay, so a tool to deal with it is know that you are moving through. It's like that. You go through the eye of the needle. And once you're out on the other side, you're like, ah, okay, we're going through that. When you feel like you're going to freaking lose your mind
Mhm.
and you feel like you have no control and you feel like you've never felt this way before, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
Know that you're in the ending.
Okay.
Then, so think of it as energy. The stuff that's the loudest is not truth. Okay. The stuff that's the loudest is the stuff that you're literally transforming through and out the other side. So as it's going through, it's like, ah, whew. So when you're feeling crazy, you're literally you're in that transition. There's energy all around you. Some of it wants you to stay there. They don't want you to go forward. Some of it's your own wounding going, oh no. Some of it's just energetics that are literally breaking off and breaking down. When you feel like that, which we often will through this transition, know you're okay. This is actually the new norm for now because we're leaving the old. We can't be in the old. It's a cooking process, a baking process. So when you put something in the oven, let's say a brownie, it's raw and it's liquid. That liquid literally changes its energy into a uh, drier cake. That's what we're in. We're going from liquid to liquid batter to to cake, okay, as an example. When you feel that intensity, know that it is not the truth of you. It is not your heart, it is not your guidance, it is not your clarity, because truth doesn't feel loud like that. B, know that you're moving through it. Do your best to be still in your heart, in your breath. Be super simple. Super simple. And keep bridging the part that has its awareness on all the noise because it's the loudest kind of thing wins, so to speak, in our how we put our focus on stuff, right? We're not focused on, oh, look at all the energy in the air that I don't see. We're not focused on that all day. We're focused on what is the most loudest, right? We have a lot of habit in our systems to be focused on that. Know that it's around you, not your heart. It's
Mm.
stuff that's clearing. So when you feel crazy and you actually tune in, is that craziness in your heart energy? Like in your core heart energy, right? It's not. It's all around it. It's all around us, but it's not in the truth of who we are. And so do your best to find an anchor in the truth of who you are in your beingness, in the river, in the flow, in the sovereignty, in the wholeness, in the love, anything that gets you there, right? So, what's interesting about love is love includes clarity, sovereignty, wholeness, empowerment, inspiration, faith, trust. It includes everything. So all you have to do is focus on one thing and you'll find your way back. Because wherever you go, love's right there. Whether you feel trust, faith, for a second, peace, it's all part of love, right? So it's synonymous. Trust is synonymous with love. Clarity is synonymous with love. Empowerment is synonymous with love. It all means the same thing, but it's different aspects. So whatever you can connect with when that noise is happening, what do you connect with? How do you find your way home in your heart to go on this rocket ship that we're on so you stay rooted as best you can as we're going Mach 20,000, right? You stay in your seat, put your seatbelt on, hold on, and know that you're not going crazy. The craziness was actually within you that's leaving, we could say. That energy is so intense. And again, we've never experienced it to the degree that it's coming out. It's always been in there. That's what's so wild. Like it's the thing that we're all experiencing has already been in us. We've already lived it, that we can't live anymore. The other thing I feel like we have to ask right now, everyone, is why might you be so scared to
Yeah.
to thrive and be happy and be excited and be clear and create? Like if we talk about fifth dimensional consciousness, what is that? What is 5D? Okay, 5D is heart energy. If we simplify it, it's love. It's living from heart and truth, not fear. Sixth dimensional, more of that. Seventh dimensional, more of that. Eighth. And the energetics of it is what shifts. So the energetics of five-dimensional energy consciousness has specific, let's say, codes and like archetypes and energy and consciousness. And then the sixth dimension has its own energetics too. It keeps shifting. The energetics is what change, but the base of love doesn't, let's say. Like it's the base. Where we could say fourth D and below is not, it doesn't have the same frequencies, right? It's really different. So why might you be afraid to be that happy, to be that thriving, to be that in ease and in grace with yourself, to be that all knowing, to be that clear? What keeps your mind going to the noise versus going here? Without making it right or wrong. Like, interesting. I wonder why I'm more focused on the stuff that's leaving me versus just keep coming back to my core self and know that that's not me. And I can approach it from like self. Interesting. Why am I not focused naturally here? I keep going to all that? That's interesting. So that question just wanted to be asked too.
So do you think that this Mach 24, 2000, Mach 7, this hyperdrive that we're in this transition, for those who, I mean, we could call it almost like a pressure cooker or surrender to love, right? Do you think that that is helping people see the easy road of love, like by default? Because why do we cling to the fear like that? Because we don't know. Maybe we don't know, or we think it's real.
And safe and known. It's
Yeah.
almost like the the what matters is the inquiry into why I might be scared. because the words are really hard to describe to the degree. But something in us feels the answer. We're like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, why would I feel better or safer there? Huh.
Because change
Versus,
is hard, right?
huh?
Change is hard.
Change is freaking hard.
Change is hard, and people don't want to get out of their comfort zone. But what you're saying is that getting out of this comfort zone leads us to a beautiful zone.
The thing that everyone has ever wanted. And why do we do all this healing in the first place?
There, yes.
Right? Like, you guys, we're actually getting to the embodiment of everything we've worked so hard for. It's right there.
Wow.
And this transition is the hardest, one of the hardest ones, because we're literally leaving the old universes and the old energy and the old consciousness that we've been like steeped in forever. And again, if I was talking to like a 20-year-old right now, they'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because they didn't have the same experience, the same soul experience we did.
Right.
It's just different, right? And I remember like 30 years ago when I first started doing my readings, and I saw when people incarnated, there was this like heavy, like a super deep heaviness of, I don't even have a word to describe it. It's like a fear energy. And when we, again, ages like kind of 35 and up, when we incarnated, that energy was there. And so since day one, our bodies, our systems, our consciousness is used to having that heaviness and depression and the fear and the worthlessness and I'm not good enough and the shame. Bleh. We're so used to that. Spirit's like, it's kind of like being born with a cold. You always feel like you have a cold. And you're so used to having a cold and you've had it for 50 plus years and somebody's like, here, be well. The truth in us, of course, would be like, yeah. But everything that's been so used to not feeling well for so long is freaking scared, right? Like, we're scared. And Spirit goes, not for long. We won't be scared for long. Because the more we actually get into this, quote, higher, fifth dimensional, all that, and that's the other kind of gift of this time, is because that's where we're going and that's we're actually embodying these higher frequencies. We have
Mm,
more space when we do feel like shit or this craziness comes. Something in us knows quicker, like, I know that's not me, and I actually don't have to pay attention to it. Yet I can't help it, right? This habit is like train going down the tracks. Train is going down those tracks, even though I'm like, I don't have to go down those tracks. So we do know what this is, right? We have so much habit. And all the healing that everyone has done, and all the healers and all the people and everyone who has been shifting their consciousness and interested in awakening and interested in self-discovery and interested in healing, we have all evolved and are evolving out of that initial heaviness that we were all born with or next to, incarnated. It was like sitting right there. That old energy is like 90% way less because of us, because we've evolved. We don't need to incarnate with that energy anymore. But we did. And so it's like our friend. We're so used to it. But that friend sucks, yo. Right? We're like, dude, I don't want to be your friend anymore. But you've been my friend for however old I am. And I get it, you know? And it's not, and this is what's really hard to have a discussion about the divine and why things are there. Like, why was that energy there? The mind can say, well, it shouldn't have been. We should just have been born, heaven on earth, right? That's this idea of how things should be. Why things are the way they are is, I don't, there are very profound reasons of God source having experiences through itself, through us, that it learns about itself. And this is where words, again, fall short. And from that perspective, it doesn't see things as good or bad. It's having a very specific awake experience, let's say. So as we keep awakening, our own perspective keeps shifting, does it not? About things, right? We could see things 5 years ago, oh my God, like that thing I thought was blah, blah, blah actually wasn't, right? Our minds, the ego thinking belief system mind, does not have the capacity to understand why, quote, God does what it does, why we were born with this kind of energy there, why there is war still, why there are people doing what they do. Our minds will never freaking get it. And it creates more and more suffering because we keep trying to think that we know what's going on for sure. Oh, I know, right? No, we don't. We don't know from there. But when we tune into our hearts, that's where the compassion, or that's where the truth is. And so we are on, as incarnation started from Om, let's say, we are on an evolutionary experience as an incarnated being. And there's only one big fat incarnated being all of us. And it doesn't, I'm not saying that to give our power away. It's just what it is, right? Like source incarnated as a soul. And then that soul became a person, let's say, right? And if we look at it like there's just source created itself to be one in one form, which takes the image of all of us and the plants and the trees and the houses and everything that's going on. Each person has their own life, like, which is amazing, right? Like when I go for a walk and I see my neighbors, I'm like, wow, their reality and my reality are completely different, and they're both supported 100%. Whatever they believe, they have. Whatever I believe, I have. It's that simple. And so as a race, as incarnation itself, as that one being, let's say, it is evolving and learning through its experience. And so this incarnation, this earth, this lifetime is one where if we incarnated, let's say 3 more times, and we looked back at this lifetime and we had the memory, we'd go, holy shit, that was the moment. That was it. That changed everything. Because at the evolutionary perspective, we're leaving fear and going into love. And so it's so foundational, you know. So how do we approach this time? Right? Is we have to have that core sense of who I am, who we are. Not mentally. We have to feel it. Sometimes we have visions of it, right? But more often than not, it can feel more elusive in a way because when we first started waking up, we had more of a like the mind could have an experience of the true self, because it was like, let's say the true self is this space and awareness and consciousness and aliveness. As we go to that root of who and what we really are, let's say, when we first started waking up, we didn't have that direct, as easy of the deeper truth of who we are. So we started off with the mind going, oh, I see who I am. Oh, okay. But we can't do that anymore because of the amount of truth within us that's now embodying. The mind can't quite put its elbow on that table anymore, you know? So when I say know who you are, you have to feel, right? And there's all your info, there's all your guidance of how to get through this transition. And Spirit saying you chose this transition. The very thing you have chosen is actually now happening. They're saying, and they get that we could be like, whatever. But they're saying you have a front row seat to the best show you have ever seen, and you're actually in the best show you have ever seen. This is what you came here for. It is the very beginning of what you came here for. And so when we hear something like that, we can be like, well, easy for you to say, you're not down here in the fire, right? It's like it creates this kind of, oh, I should be excited and be in the arena. And so they understand where our minds can take that, and yet it's true. Like, this is it, you guys. This is the moment we have been waiting for of embodiment of, quote, 5D love. Like, this is it, man. Humanly. We've done it energetically, and we're still doing it energetically, right? But the scale has tipped where the 100th monkey is happening.
Mm.
And our judging minds will look at what's going on in the world and go, there's no way this can be happening because look at what's happening, right? And I don't have the words to tell you, but that is actually activating and part of the ascension. It like really is. And it doesn't make it easier. It doesn't bring comfort. It doesn't do any of those things. Because who wants to be in pain, right? And I can't even say it like that because everything that's happening is from a choice. We've all chosen our experiences over and over and over and over, and we're still doing that, right? So we keep seeing what we don't prefer anymore, right? Oh, I don't actually want that experience anymore. And so the outer world is a manifestation of what's been happening for some time, but now it can't be hidden anymore. So the outer world manifests just like our personal worlds manifest. It takes a minute, right? We make all these choices, and then something happens where there's this tip, right? And so what Spirit is saying is like the last 3 years in particular is an example of all these under choices that have been happening in humanity that are now that have manifested. We're actually watching what's in front of us now. We're actually watching came from past choices that are actually manifested now and are manifesting. And so as we go through our own awakening as an individual person and the amount of stuff that we have to deal with and clear, that's what the world is going through. And if you want to know what's happening in the world, just look at one person, just one human. You see what's going on in them, that's what's going on in the world. And so the power of our choice, even though we don't see the result in 2 seconds, energetically has way more weight now and way faster manifestation than ever. So it's super important what we choose, man, right now. And we don't like we don't have the direct experience, I want to say all the time, of when we choose something and energetically what actually starts happening from the choice. We don't physically see that, let's say, right? Or we haven't. We could, right? I don't like to say things like an absolute like that, but I have to describe it. When we make a choice, the energetics already start shaping in 2 seconds, in less than 2 seconds. It's simultaneous. Choices create energy. Choices create energy. Choices create energy. Choices create energy. And so right now, the amount of time between choice and energy is quicker than ever. It's always been choice and energy like that. But the density on this planet has been where it doesn't ripple so fast like that. But now there's less density, so choice energy is in 2 seconds. We just don't think that's happening, so we don't think our choices matter sometimes. But they freaking do, man. Should I stop talking now?
Just thank you for this information and this wisdom from your heart because it really is extremely helpful. as you were sharing, I know we were each looking at our lives and aspects of our lives. And I do want to say, yes, we can see the past choices. You know, what was really interesting is even so now, like here we are in this time of this year, but about, I don't know, 9 months ago, I started sensing a thing or a need or a swift, a change, whatever we want to call it. And
Mm-hmm.
now here it is manifesting. So you're right about that.
Mm.
I wonder how many people listening in our audience have felt for the first time that they're almost close to just giving up. I mean, we've heard that a lot from light workers, like, I don't know, are we going to make it? So that is another indicator. If anyone has ever
Mm-hmm.
felt, oh my gosh, are we going to make it? Did we get on the bad timeline? What's happening here? Right.
A bad
Wait a minute, I'm supposed to be on that time.
timeline.
What happened? But as you're saying that this is just it. And you know
Yeah.
what? We did raise our hands high to incarnate because we were like, wait a minute, all we have to do is radiate love. Oh my goodness, that's a no-brainer. I absolutely, but now,
Mm.
going through it in the energetics of releasing that fear. For some, we may not even know we're releasing the fear. Maybe we're just getting angry,
Right.
everything
Right.
maybe feeling out of control. Like, what are we going to do? But then I keep hearing, what does it all matter? And that is the new
Mm.
Earth 5D frequency
Mm.
that you're talking about. So it's almost as if anytime we feel that way, as we're shedding this, releasing this, we have to just give ourselves that new Earth frequency upgrade, right? We just have to say, wow. And you call it tuning into the heart. I love it. Wow, really important.
Like for me, because I'm super psychic, right? I see things.
Ooh, what do you see? What
So
do you,
for me, the 5D, the love world, and then
yeah,
it just goes up from there. When I put my focus there, for me to like, okay, when all my shit is up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna freaking lose my freaking mind right now. And I go, okay, let me just, what if I put my awareness back to the 5D world where I'm actually rooting in right now? What's always interesting for me, the instant thing that I always see is as I'm rooting there, all the stuff I'm feeling that I'm freaked out doesn't exist there at all. It's all around, it's back there. Like it's just not, it doesn't exist in that world. And all my soul history is from is back there, which has the heaviness and the fear and the fear template, right? But when I watch myself anchoring in the new world, the atmosphere is completely different. It doesn't have fear. It doesn't have doubt. It doesn't have worthlessness. It doesn't have anything like that. It's like taking a plane and getting off on some island you've never visited before that has different rules, different food, different everything. All that intensity is what's leaving me. It's not where I'm actually at. But my mind goes back to all the intensity, right? And I when I bring my like psychic awareness there and I just watch this, like watch me like just being in that world and rooting, I'm free. Like it's all over. It's done. But then my mind goes back to all the noise, right? But I fucking see it. I'm like, aha, like there's none of this in this new world. When I stay there with my awareness, I'm 100% experiencing my freedom because none of this energy exists in this fifth dimensional consciousness. It's everything I've ever lived does. And it's outside of it, it's not in it. And so that always gives me a perspective to be like, well, am I choosing this or that to keep my awareness on? Because the other thing too is like, we don't have training wheels anymore. None of us. And so spirit isn't like, Ambujam, your awareness is on that shit again. I got that 30 years ago when I first started my path, you know? But it's up to me now, as it should be. I'm a whole sovereign being. I choose where I keep my focus. Nobody's freaking telling me, hey, 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 watch out for that thing. I've already gone through that school. I don't need a repeat. So I'm a free agent. I can put my awareness wherever I want. So spirit's not going to save me from myself. They're not going to save us from ourselves. What saves us from ourselves is ourselves to be like, where's my focus? I know what this is. Let me just keep practicing because it's a practice because we've never experienced this before, right? So know that we're gonna go into that energy. It's what we're so used to. And that this whole new, complete, free, thriving, peaceful ease, just this joy. It's not an emotional joy because it's a baseline. Like joy is baseline. And it's not right? It's just it's like it's like peace, ease, and a just a quiet happy, you know, that doesn't go away because it's not an emotion. It's not fickle, right? It doesn't go up and down and up and down. And so we have to like train ourselves to be like, I can actually live there now. I can, because that's what's happening to me, right? And so yeah, I just want to say, like, when I see it psychically, none of this noise, fear, power and control, darkness, none of that stuff like we've experienced it exists in the world that we're embodying now. It doesn't mean we have no challenges, right? It's just not the lower vibrations that they don't live there because it's 5D energy. It's a different frequency, right? So if you take your old self with you and try to live there, it's not going to work, right? Which is why everything's falling away.
Very interesting. Right. We've heard time and time again, we cannot take our baggage to New Earth. We cannot take it. So this is a relief. Okay. I want to recap what you said because it's very important. Where is our focus? Is our focus on the noise, which that's easy to look at,
It's
easy to
really easy.
focus
Yeah.
on, easy to get distracted by, easy to watch ourselves spiral in confusion and the noise even in our own life. But the focus, again, coming back to that focus, that really is our job. So what do you do? I mean, I guess you've answered this. You maintain your focus.
I
Do you
keep bringing
ever
it back.
keep bringing it back? Do you have dreams that or nights that you toss and turn over this stuff?
Oh my God. It's the worst.
And so what do you do? Because I know
Like the
we
other night,
yes,
I woke up in the middle of the night and the amount of anxiety
right.
in my system and like almost like 1,000 voices of fear was just like, and I knew in that moment, I'm like, holy shit, I've actually chosen to leave all this, which is why this is bothering me.
Okay.
I felt it. I didn't think that way. I was like, I just knew in my heart of hearts, oh, interesting. This shit's freaking the fuck out right now. Because I'm like, no. I said no. Did I consciously in my mind be like, you know what? No. No, I did not do that. But all my choices are equaling that, right? So when I woke up and I feel this feeling like my body was it was so uncomfortable. I just asked my angels, I asked my higher self, I asked my heart, I asked the archangels, I'm like, can you please remove this from my system?
Mhm.
Because I'm not afraid to ask for help. I mean, I've definitely gone through my stages of like, I should do it on myself. I'm a healer. Shouldn't ask anyone for help. And I'm
Yeah.
like, girl, please. Like,
And the angels come in and help. They really do.
and they're
I
just waiting for us to ask. Like I've seen that a lot about angels is like
They
they
are.
won't interfere. Like they're there, but we literally have to ask them.
Yes.
And one, I feel like I'm kind of giving this thing away, but yet I have to say it anyway. I'm like, really? Is that okay to say? And they're like, uh-huh. One thing I saw years ago was angels had to learn to let the human have their experience and not to intervene. And they're learning too, like what that's like, because they could intervene. But they're learning too how to have the human be sovereign and ask and not to do something that's not just because they can doesn't mean they should, right? And I was like, ooh, I saw that years ago. I'm like, that's interesting. I don't know if that's still happening in the angelic realm, let's say, but it's like every single thing that we go through is about our empowerment, right? Really. And like the other thing I was feeling today, like what I'm going through, I'm just like, oh, that's just a version of the same thing. Like when I watch all that noise and stuff, right? That's up for me and everything that's clearing. Today I got this glimpse of like, yeah, I might have not felt like this before, but this is a version of the same thing I've always had. Same thing. And it was comforting because I was like, well, all I have to do is just be in the root of the same thing and really see this for what it is, which is the gift,
It's
right?
your essence, is what you're saying. That's you're feeling your essence. That's always been there. Is that what you're saying? Is that it's always been there,
No, the stuff that's up for me right now is a version of the same stuff that was up 15 years ago, 20 years ago,
coming back around?
coming back because it's the root of it
The-
now.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like it's more intense. Like, do we care so much? And that's why I heard my guide say, what does it
Hmm.
all matter? Does it
Right.
matter that
Oh,
much?
that's why I brought up what the 5D quote unquote looks like, because it doesn't matter there.
It
Like what
doesn't.
you're saying, it doesn't matter. It only matters because we're giving it matter,
Well,
right?
you know what? It's time. Come on now. We've been waiting for this for a while. And what I'd like to say and remind everyone is the Arcturians have always said this, that New Earth is that frequency. It's a frequency.
Hmm.
So we're literally, when we say we're in two worlds, we've got one leg in one world and one leg in the other, and the chaos, it's the chaos that's leaving us as we're taking that foot out of the other world.
Yep.
Do you just so the protocol is to stay in the center, to come back to the center, and we should almost just be hallelujah because it's almost over. Almost over. And I really wonder if folks watching can glimpse the freedom of the fear. I wonder. I wonder how
Hmm.
everyone is feeling on that. Or does this just seem like, does your mind go over and say, how can that be? Because it is very interesting. But I'm going to venture to say that as we look at the world outside of us or watch the noise, listen to the noise, to compare it to like you said, to compare it to this love that we are, this center that we are, and we will see that actually
Hmm.
we are always that. We are always that. And so what does it matter? What does it matter? It's really the end of, I don't want to say it's the end of critical thinking because we kind of need that a
Hmm.
little bit more right now, but it really is the end of the mind. And
The ego thinking.
we can say that the human heart will now be leading.
Hmm.
Can you imagine that? I mean, I'm waiting for the world leaders to step up and say this.
That's us.
But it's us. We are the world leaders. And I think more and more people are figuring that part out. Actually,
Well,
by feeling, because we're tired. Like you said in your life, I just want to be happy. I want to feel happy. I want to feel happy. How many of us want to feel happy? So shed the guilt. So when you have the fear or you just focus on the love and you just let the rest go? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It takes me a minute because again, my loudest stuff is my stuff. Where somebody else could look at my stuff and be like, "Girl, that's not you." But it sure feels like me, right? So it's hard to like peel it off. So when I find the truth in my heart of this higher consciousness that I'm actually
Mm,
grounding in and embodying, it takes a minute because at
uh,
first I'll experience it like psychically
okay.
and feel it. But then when I really keep focused there, I would say, let's just simplify this for a sec, kind of like within like 45 seconds. And I'm not like counting, but that seems to be,
Mm,
it's less than a minute
yeah.
of the chaos is super strong, but I'm focused on where I'm anchoring. And then the more I focus on that, and the more I focus on that, that's all there is. And I just stay there and I stay there. And that's where the peace comes from and that knowing of like, God, this just feels so right. It's only when my awareness gets all velcroed again to what I was used to, the worlds I was used to living in, that it becomes hard again.
Mm,
And it's like we all have our own kryptonite, right? Of what pulls us out of that peace. And it's those kryptonite things is what's leaving. And we're leaving an ego
wow.
mind-based world into a heart-based world. And what's interesting also is for a lot of us, we've been making choices from the heart for a long, long time, right? We're like, okay, here's my mind, here's what I think, here's my triggers, here's my emotion, but what's my heart say? So we've
Mm,
been already living in 5D by our actions, but now we're going to start to be living in that energy that we've been practicing.
okay.
Yeah. So it's already there because the mind still can do this thing. Oh, it's somewhere to get, right? We're getting somewhere. And it's like we're evolving energetically into being what's already here, the truth of how we've already been living. We're going to go energetically more embody that now, right?
So inspiring. Really. Thank you. Because this is so beneficial and so helpful. It really is. And so this is why we keep on keeping on. We keep our focus. And wow, it's going to be a beautiful celebration as more and more. I do know some people are completely non-triggered like that.
Mhm.
People who've been doing this path, this journey, this spiritual journey for a while now, they are reporting this. We can see 5D by our own actions. And so thank you for sharing this.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing your experience of this because we are now so optimistic. I truly hope everyone's optimistic about your struggles. There, I saw a question coming through, and I'm going to generalize this for you were mentioning relationships. I'm going to generalize this for
Mhm.
everyone. What happens if people that we care about, friends, family, loved ones, our community, if they're not,
Yeah, that's the
what
biggest fear
happens if
right
they're
there.
not with us
That's the
energetically?
biggest fear, is it not?
That's a fear, isn't it? That's a fear. Well, I got it. I got it. Focus on the love. And it goes back to the Lemurian ways, the Lemurian love, why we let the laggards in to Lemuria, because we knew our love would influence. Well, we knew our love would influence them to make the last shift, but we didn't make that shift
Mhm.
14,000 years ago. But this time we're going to make it because
Well, we are making it.
we are making it. We have been through the doldrums of the lower densities. Maybe we had to go into those lower densities to know what to reach back for.
Yeah, I wanted to also say like living in this third dimensional consciousness wasn't a mistake. right? It was a stop along the way in evolution. Like, we're
Mm.
actually seeing the end of it in this lifetime. We don't know what that'll look like.
The
And
end
to
of greed? Really? We're gonna see the end of greed? Let's put this on a wide screen level for the earth.
no, that's the part we don't know
But in our own
energetically.
lives. So this is not about them, the collective, but what we're doing here individually,
Yes,
right?
because everything is energy. So what creates greed is energy, right? At the end of the day. What creates me to want to hoard away? I have pain, I have betrayal, I have deep hurt that makes me scared.
Mm.
And so I want to have greed and I want to, right? The situations in the world is the quote last manifestation of people's energy.
Ah, good point.
So when things actually shift in the world, we don't know. But energetically, this is the end. We are at the end of, I don't have a word for it, fear based
Hmm.
living,
So who wants to say, I'm done?
right?
I'm done. I'm done. And I know every one of us are sitting here saying, we're done.
And I want to
However, that's
address,
easier said than done, though, right?
yes, because you have to feel it, like your neutral self, right? Is like done.
Neutral self. Okay.
Like my happiness, right? I was choosing for years, doing all this healing until that one day I felt this depth of vibrational shift. That's where the doneness, like I don't want to live in this way anymore, comes from. So we can start where we are. Yes, I don't want to live in fear anymore.
Okay.
Start where you are, wherever that is, wherever you can actually feel that truth to the depths, to the deepest way you can. And then just keep doing whatever you need to do to really feel neutral about, I don't prefer fear anymore, right? It's like that's where the healing is. It's kind of where
Yeah.
that quote work is, right?
My
But I
goodness.
want to address that question about the relationship part
Yes, thank you.
because I don't know who doesn't have this in their relationship, whether it's a spouse or a child or a
Our friend,
friend or.
worker, yeah, everyone.
So, first and foremost, anytime you feel that, that is the fear based template.
Okay.
And how do you know? Because it's creating fear and you feel scared in a uncontrollable way. You don't feel scared like oh, I'm going to create this new thing for my work. Ooh, I'm scared. That's not fear though. That's like oh, right? When you feel the fear of your partner isn't going to make it with you and you're going to have to end the relationship or whoever it is, know the second you even go there, you're going to the fear based template because of how it makes you feel. That is a huge clue, right? Love never makes you feel afraid like that or threatened like that. Uh-oh. Okay. And what I'm talking about is not a linear, like, and then the next thing you do is this, but it's a part of it. The quote, next thing to focus on is all you have to do is follow your own heart of your highest choices. That's the foundation. You have a path to live and you must live it, whatever that is, for you. You have to honor and respect and be in devotion of what your path is.
Okay.
You then have zero control of who comes with you. You can't control that part. But know that the fear about it is not where you belong to keep your focus. So love holds the bird in the hand like this.
Mm.
It doesn't need the bird to stay because it doesn't have a need like that, right? It's when we're in like real love, we all have those moments of like, That's where you approach this fear from about your people. So love holds your people like this. You say to yourself, I have to follow my path no matter what, because I must, like, I'm not, I don't even have a word. I'm not dishonoring my soul. I can't do it. I have to follow my heart, right? When you truly are doing that, it does feel this way because you're in love and you're giving people the space to come or not. That's what love does. Fear holds the bird like this, and the bird's pecking. You're like, ow, ow, ow. You're like, well, dude, of course the bird's gonna peck, right? Why is this hurt? Because you're suffocating the bird, right? You're
And
controlling the bird. Let the bird go. Let it go. And I know
sure.
what I'm saying is easier said than done.
Mm,
But what is it, no matter how much fear can be there about your spouse, your person, your people, your friends, the job, whatever it is, love would never threaten you like that. Love would never say, you better not do that or this person's not going to come with you. Only fear would talk to you like that.
yeah.
So every time you feel that, come back into your heart. I must be like this. I got to find my spot of how I get back there.
Wow.
Let me get back. Let me get back to what's in my heart right now. What is my path? And you can get there. It just takes a minute.
And
But it's a very survival, like health, money, relationship, home. These are survival based fears, right? Of fear of loss. But
yeah.
the energy of that is fear though.
Mhm.
So think about whenever it was truly time to walk away from something, like for real. It felt good, even though it might have felt scary, but you had this anchor of, I know what I'm doing is right. And it saved you
Mm,
as the fear came, as people's opinions came, as the, oh my God, uh-oh. You're like, yeah, but I know what I'm doing is right. I feel it so strongly. It's it's big in me. I feel it. It's alive in me, right? It's not fear. And can I just tell a quick story about
sure.
that?
Yes.
So when I was engaged, when I was 22, no, 24, and 2 years, 3 years, 2 years into this relationship, I knew I had to leave the relationship, and we were engaged and we were about to get married. And like, we had the priest, the rabbi, I had my dress, everything was a go. And we were just about to do the invitations when I started to feel like this isn't right. I spent, I don't even know how long, let's just say a good 6 months going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yes,
Wow.
let's stay together, but let's just postpone the wedding. And I go, okay, I feel better. But then my heart was like, it's not enough. I had to take it to the very, very end, which was I need to leave this person. And I was so friggin' scared and so disempowered until one day a family member asked me, so let's say you stay together, you postpone the wedding, and he changes. Would you actually ever trust him? And I was like, no. And that was it. My thing switched, and I went from disempowered and longing and needy to I'm done. And it was that truth in me that saved me when all the old, oh no, what am I going to do without him? Oh no, started to come up. But I had myself. I found myself, you know? And that's a very different feeling than, oh no, should I leave? Should I stay? What should I do? That's a very different, those are two very different places to be in within ourselves. Whether we're making a job decision, a life change decision, It's really different when we're like, uh-oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And we're going through all of the things versus time to go, right? It's a completely different vibration. So I just wanted to share that as an example that we've all had that experience of when something changes and we just know what we need to do. It's not mental, it's not nervous, it's not from anxiety. It's not from, oh no, is this person going to break up with me or not? Do I have to break up with them? That's not truth, man. That's fear. Follow your heart and let be what be. That's practice. Got to do it.
Follow your heart and let be, and what be, let be, and what be, let be. Okay, beautiful. Write that down, everyone. I mean, it's wisdom that we've heard, but it really is it's the way it's done. It's the path.
And it's not easy,
No
but it's a choice. Like, are you going to do what's true for you, regardless of fear or not?
fear.
Only you know.
You're a fear buster. Love is the ultimate fear buster. All right. And so thank you for that because we can do this. We can get still and we can get quiet and we can come within to our essence. And that is a golden doorway. So thank you because this is really important. And I want to take this opportunity now, Ambujam, because you've got a beautiful
Oh,
offering.
yeah, the package.
I'm going to put this in our YouTube channel. Actually, it's in the description box on our YouTube channel. But this is a beautiful way to really propel your evolution and come into your self-mastery. Ambujam has a beautiful couple of group power healing sessions. These are live, and you want to join her for these because if you've been in this conversation, this in its own sense is a healing session, but the group power healings go very deep. Ambujam, tell us about this package, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so because of what's going on right now in our topic today, I like curated this package here, which has two group power healings that were recorded live. And it also has my self inquiry and discernment series, which is Know Your Truth in Every Situation. So, the discernment series is a healing meditation teaching where you are asked to bring your questions that you want to know whatever about, whatever it is that you are in challenge with. You bring that up and you start to learn the difference between what your mind, how your mind approaches it, how your emotions approach it, and then how the truth in your heart approaches it. And teaching you what the difference is between, the freak out of the mind, the freak out of the emotions, and just the truth in your heart. So you can constantly practice that in your life to know the difference, right? And then it just becomes second nature. You're like, oh, that's my mind. Oh, that's my emotions. Oh, that's the noise. Let me go to my heart. So I added that in there. One of the group power healings is release the fears holding you back from total surrender to your knowing. So in this one, we went super deep into releasing all your significant fears that are keeping you feeling like you can't just surrender into your knowing. And so all of the details are on this page, you guys. I just wanted to kind of give you the overview. We also worked a lot with the 2025 energies and that one as well. And then the other one I added was I'm just looking at them here. Oh, there it is. The other one I added was nourish, nurture, align, and know the new 2025 energy. So that was about helping you really align and nourish your system with the 2025 energies, how it's working with you, what it is that you are evolving into. And so when you listen to all of these, treat them like a live session because how the energy works when you listen is spirit literally like crawls out of the replay, meet you exactly where you are in your path right now, and meet your heart's deepest desires for truth, for change, for healing, for transformation, for embodiment, and all the shifts that happen in those replays. Literally, the energy like transforms into what you need now. So I always say treat it like a live session because that's what it's like. Do not do anything that needs your focus when you listen. These are very powerful. The energetics are very powerful in these replays. So they're there for you to just really foundationally supporting you to trust yourself, surrender in your heart, clear the old stuff super fast, and teaching you the difference of mind, emotion, and then the truth in your heart. So that's what's there for those.
Thank you for that. Your courses are so popular with
Mm,
audience because it truly is powerful, heart opening. I really want to say it's a heart consciousness. It truly is
mm,
consciousness, ascension for heart consciousness. But let's just call it
mm,
heart consciousness.
mm.
And so that is the healing recipe for all of us. And we can
Isn't
sense
it though?
how we feel right now. So it's really wonderful. Thank you for that. All right, beautiful hearts, please check out this special offer. The link is on the page that got you to this program, and you'll find it there. You'll get an immediate download of these items as well, and you can begin that transformation. What's the best way for people to use this? Because I would say, my goodness, make it part of a daily routine, either when we're going to bed or waking up or even in our meditation. But this will really set the pace of our day and our
I
night.
would say follow your intuition of when best to listen. People tell me they use it in all times during the day. Some people share, like, I woke up feeling funky today and I put it to play in the background and I felt a lot better after that was happening. So follow your intuition and again, treat it like a live session. So ideally, you can sit with it and partner with it and really be in your journey of these very powerful ascension, deep healings that are actually happening. Because it's all about, at the end of the day, these sessions are all about waking you up, awakening and embodying your awakening. So the more you can have your consciousness in the shifts as they're happening and in your system as it's doing what it's doing is the best way to benefit yourself.
Mm. All right. And who is this good for? Is this good for all walks of life or specific people?
It's a
Who's this?
good question. People who are attracted to my work have the fire to be who they are no matter what. They're not fucking around. They're like, I'm going to face whatever I need to face. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I'm self led. I am self guided. And we all partner together, help clear the old stuff. So it's a very specific, just fire in the belly to be who you are.
Oh, that's all of
So
us. That's
that's what who these are for. So
anyone who is shedding a tear right now, just feeling into that vibration, we're talking to you. All right.
mm-hmm.
I just love your teachings, Ambujam. It really is.
Thank you.
Um, thank you for today, and thank you for this frequency shift, for
And
explaining
I
what
feel like with all of us being together and talking about it all, we've actually
shifted it
moved.
faster.
So we're way more
Wow, I got goosebumps on that.
in the heart love based energy than we were when we started this call.
And isn't that beautiful? And that's why I encourage everyone to keep up this work, to continue filling your heart with information like this. Your heart will decipher. Fill it with this. It's so easy. We could fill it with the news or not,
Mm-hmm.
but this is something that is really important. And because we do that, it does shift our world around us. Like you did the bird in the hand, that's what it turns us
Mm-hmm.
into. It turns us into Saint Francis of Assisi or someone like that because we are
Mm-hmm.
radiating our love. And so I love that image. I really do.
Yeah, because fear doesn't grasp and it doesn't feel the need to keep
Right.
and hoard.
I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be my symbol. Like
Yeah, maybe that can be like a mudra, right?
a
Whenever
mudra.
we feel scared about losing someone or something, we can just go
I got big chills on that. Yeah. Love is the glue,
Mm.
and love is free.
Love is free, man.
Love is free in so many ways.
And we're a human being with wounding being asked to be like this,
Mhm.
right? It's a big deal, man. Have patience and gentleness with yourself to be like, wow, man, my childhood was like, it was hard. And if that's all it was, I'm being asked to be what? Total love and let go. So just like, it's a big ask for our parts. We can do it. This is why we're here. But I just want to give that perspective too. Like we're a human being. We've gone through stuff and we're being asked to love unconditionally for ourselves first, then other. And it's like a big deal.
And just feel that. Like truly surrender to love. Truly, not just love in general, but
Mm,
unconditional love, to truly surrender to love. Wow. I feel like
this.
crying right now. Okay. Because I love that. Truly surrender to love
Mm.
and let it flow. Let your love
Yeah,
flow.
not a concept of love, but love. Like when you say that, Loren, truly surrender, what comes up for me is I'm surrendering to the love within me. It's not a concept. Oh, love.
No, it's
Right. It's like love.
it's
What is
it's
that? Right. What does that
what is
even
that
mean?
word? I want to come up with the word. It's not, it's okay, love is glue, that's one thing, but no, it's like it's not protocol. It's love is it. Love is all there is. Love is it. That's what I'm getting. Love is it. Everything else is just an illusion. We've heard that before. And so,
Oh, sorry. Can I add one more thing? I know
please.
we have to go, right? When you just said everything else is illusion, the stuff that we're traveling through now to release, illusion is everywhere right now. Like we have to be so careful of
Oh,
where we keep our focus because illusion is everywhere, has always been everywhere, but we're literally waking up an illusion right now. So be super careful because it's right there.
and so what
Right?
happens? It can snag and distract,
Yep.
and then we can watch ourselves go in a mental spiral.
Hmm.
And so that's what we're talking about here is
Yeah.
our immaculate awareness
Mm.
of our energy and our focus. As you said, keep the focus on love, everyone. Keep the focus on love. And love is free. Let it flow. Don't cling. All right. We've done some
Thank
powerful
you.
today. Ambujam Rose, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are smiling. Our hearts are wide open in that luscious grin. And we thank you. And I thank everyone for that shift. I can feel it. I know you can feel it. The world
Mhm.
feels it. And for that, we are grateful. Thank you, Ambujam. We'll see you again soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for
Namaste.
having me. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.